As the 9th of 19 children, Joanna grew up fully immersed in the Duggar courtship system. Her courtship with Austin Forsyth, who would later become her husband, was featured on the family's reality show Counting On. But behind the camera and beyond the polished, wholesome image portrayed on screen, there were moments of anxiety, confusion, and discomfort. In a recent interview, Joanna recalled how stifling the dating process felt. Unlike traditional dating, where couples have the chance to gradually get to know each other and develop emotional and physical intimacy, the Duggar version of courtship left little room for personal growth. The presence of chaperones at all times meant there was no privacy, and every move was monitored. This constant surveillance didn't just prevent physical contact, it created an atmosphere where Joanna felt unable to express her true feelings, fearful of crossing a line and disappointing her family or God. One of the more disturbing elements of the courtship process, according to Joanna, was how much control her father exerted over her relationships. In the Duggar household, the father is the head of the family and plays a crucial role in selecting and approving a suitor for his daughters. Jim Bob Duggar had to sign off on any potential relationships, and he often acted as the gatekeeper to the girls' romantic lives. This paternal control extended beyond advice or guidance. Joanna described instances where her father's approval seemed more like ownership, a practice that left her feeling powerless. Joanna also revealed that one of the most horrifying aspects of this dating tradition was the lack of agency the women had in choosing their life partners. While Austin Forsyth was someone she did eventually fall in love with, she acknowledged that the overwhelming pressure to follow the family's strict guidelines made it hard for her to determine what she truly wanted in a partner. It was difficult to separate her personal desires from the expectations placed upon her by her parents and their rigid religious beliefs. The emotional toll of courtship. The courtship system is often presented as a romantic and idealized way to date, free from the complications of modern dating culture. However, for Joanna, the reality was much more complex. The constant chaperoning and lack of privacy made it difficult for her to form a natural, comfortable bond with Austin during the early stages of their relationship. There were no opportunities for private conversations, no moments to get to know each other without someone watching, and certainly no chance to experience the kind of personal exploration and freedom that many young adults cherish during the dating phase of their lives. Additionally, the weight of expectation placed on these young people, especially the women, could be overwhelming. In the Duggar household, courtship wasn't just about finding love, it was about fulfilling a higher spiritual purpose. Every interaction was laden with the pressure of remaining pure, pleasing God, and upholding the family's public image. Joanna revealed that she often felt like she was walking on eggshells, fearful that any misstep would not only ruin her relationship but also bring shame to her family. While Joanna has since married Austin and seems to have found happiness with him, her reflections on the courtship process highlight just how restrictive and emotionally exhausting it was. For her, the system that was supposed to protect her innocence instead left her feeling trapped and powerless, with little room to develop her own sense of self and autonomy. Breaking free. In recent years, Joanna and some of her siblings have begun to step out from under the heavy shadow of their parents' beliefs. While they remain devout Christians, there have been signs that some of the Duggar children are re-evaluating the extreme conservatism of their upbringing. Joanna's willingness to speak out about the courtship process is a powerful testament to her desire to reclaim her voice and her narrative. Her story, and others like it, serve as important reminders that while faith and tradition can provide a strong foundation for families, it's crucial to balance those values with the freedom for individuals to make their own choices. For Joanna, the journey of courtship was not without its challenges, but by sharing her experience, she's helping to shed light on the complexities and potential pitfalls of growing up in such a tightly controlled environment. The legacy of the Duggar family's courtship system may still loom large, but voices like Joanna's remind us that change and personal freedom are always possible, even in the most rigid of circumstances. Joanna Duggar Forsyth is getting a lot of attention following her recent podcast. The 26-year-old shared some heartbreaking stories about her family, especially when things fell apart after Jill and Ginger released their books. However, it also gave her a realization regarding her faith. Another thing that Joanna talked about was the horrifying dating tradition of her family. Keep reading to see what it was. Counting on. Joanna Duggar shares family's hard time. One of the topics Joanna talked about in the Unplanned podcast was about one of the darkest times of her family. According to the Counting on alum, Jill and Ginger's books against the IBLP brought them so much stress. My siblings and my parents and all this stuff was super hard at that time, she recalled, as her parents were put in the hot seat for months following the memoirs. The mother of three even confessed questioning if everything that's been happening to their family was real. But she was also thankful that her sister's memoirs somehow enlightened her when it comes to her beliefs. Joanna recalls horrifying dating tradition. Joanna Duggar Forsyth also talked about the horrifying dating tradition of her family during the same podcast. According to the former Counting on star, her dad would regularly file hundreds of guys who wanted to date his daughters, adding that some of them were even prison inmates. She later revealed that there were so many letters from random men almost every day, and Michelle had to read them first. My mom obviously would read them first, because she's like, "This is weird, but then we all laugh about it," she added. Meanwhile, Austin revealed that Jim Bob has a vetting process for men who want to date his daughters. This is obviously when the show was still blown and going, he said, adding that it was the reason why Jim Bob wanted to have a month and a half of relationship with him before allowing him for his daughter. Counting on. Joanna Duggar shares first-time breaking rules with Austin Forsyth. During the same podcast, Joanna Duggar Forsyth shared the time when she and Austin broke a courtship rule for the first time. According to the Counting on alum, she held Austin's hands for about 15 minutes when he totaled his truck. Jim Bob and one of his sons were there, and Joanna's brother told their dad about it. Joanna admitted that her father looked disappointed about it, but it seems it never became a big deal due to the incident. If you are looking for more Duggar family news, come back to TV shows Ace for all your updates. The Duggar family, made famous by their reality TV shows 19 Kids and Counting On, have long been subjects of fascination and scrutiny due to their conservative religious lifestyle and unconventional beliefs. One of the most contentious aspects of their lives is the strict courtship system imposed on the children, particularly the girls. While their approach to dating is framed as being a part of their deep faith, stories have emerged from the Duggar children that suggest the experience wasn't always easy or joyful. Recently, Joanna Duggar Forsyth shared her perspective on the family's dating practices and revealed that what might have been intended as a path to pure biblical romance was often stifling, even horrifying for her. Her story opens a window into the reality behind the rules, shedding light on how this system impacted her emotionally and psychologically. The courtship system. A brief overview. The Duggar family doesn't date like most Americans. Instead of casual dating, they practice courtship, a system meant to prepare young adults for marriage. In the Duggar household, courtship isn't just dating with marriage in mind. It's a highly controlled process overseen by the parents, particularly patriarch Jim Bob Duggar. Courtship emphasizes emotional purity, limiting physical contact and interactions between potential couples. There's no hand-holding, kissing, or even being alone together without a chaperone before marriage. The Duggar children, especially the daughters, are raised with the belief that their bodies and hearts should remain pure until their wedding day. Every interaction with the opposite sex is viewed through the lens of maintaining sexual purity, with strict boundaries in place to ensure this. At first glance, this might seem like an admirable effort to protect the young adults from heartache and sexual temptation, but for those like Joanna, the experience of living under these rules was often suffocating and at times emotionally damaging. Joanna Duggar's experience.